those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much. Your subscriptions mean the world to me. If you want to support the channel, you can by going to patreon.com and choosing a monthly subscription. You will get your forecasts that I do daily on the YouTube channel a day early, and access to other readings that are available only over on Patreon, depending on what level of service you subscribe to. This is the monthly reading for the month of December 2020 for the sign of Scorpio. So if you have a sun, moon, or rising in the sign of Scorpio, you may want to watch this. It might give you insight into sort of an overview of to what you might be able to experience in the month of December. This is a broad spectrum reading intended for a lot of different people. Also, if you have heavily placed planets in Scorpio, like if you have more than 3 planets in the sign of Scorpio, you might want to watch this too. It may apply to you or have an effect on you. And it's just to give you an overview of what you could potentially be working with, building upon, experiencing throughout the month of December. So you'll have to sort of take what you need and leave the rest, apply what makes sense to wherever it fits in your life. If it doesn't fit or doesn't make sense, that's completely fine. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. It just means that you might be working on something different. Always use your highest intelligence when watching these videos. If you choose to make any decisions in your personal life after having watched any of my videos, those decisions are your responsibility. Never take anything I say over the advice of a professional in the field, i.e. a lawyer, a doctor, or a therapist. So utilize the reading to, help give you guidance, but ultimately you are the captain of your ship, Scorpio, but you know that. You love to be the captain of your ship. You're good at it. So let's see what's going on with Scorpio. The first card out is going to be our sort of guide card for the month. It gives us a little insight into who might be taking us through the month, what we need to focus on, what we want to create, where our focus should be. It could be a theme of the month. I'm pulling it from Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors deck. I thought it was a fitting deck to use at the end of the year. Just sounded really nice. We're going into December, into family time during the holidays, or reflecting upon those people, i.e. the ancestors. Also, the spiritual connection of the angels is always a beautiful thing to have and honor. So this is why I've chosen this guide. So what card do my Scorpios need? Let's do one more shuffle and find out. Okay. Interesting. So Scorpio gets Oracle. Wait for important information. To me, it's interesting because I feel like she's taking care of herself. I don't know why, but maybe it's the steam rising up off this cup. It's giving me a bit of a Vicks Vapor Rub vibe, but something about that red cloth around her neck too, to me. Obviously, she's a holy woman or a woman of high spiritual value, which, that's definitely Scorpio's avenue for sure. And you even have this little snake down here, which is kind of like, that sort of the side of Scorpio you may not want to mess with. But to me, I feel like she's caring for herself. She's going inward. She is gathering her energy around herself. She's just waiting for important information. We'll look at the cards and see what the cards say, but something might be coming to us in the month of December that we need, something maybe we've been waiting on for a while. I will say this, the Oracle, in my opinion, she is tapped in and turned on and tuned in, right? So, and Scorpios are that, very much so. You guys are very psychic and can kind of pick up on the lesser, the lesser known vibes, so to speak, or the feelings, the intentions of others, that sort of thing. And I feel like Oracle, she certainly has that strength about her, or that ability about her. But to me, I don't know, it's sort of like the shawl, the bowl, all of that makes me feel like self-care is going to be really important this month as you wait. I know she almost feels like I don't want to say she's not feeling well, but she kind of looks to me like she's trying to just sort of, I feel like a little bit exasperated in the sense that she's like, oh Lord, let me just sip this tea and leave me the heck alone kind of thing. And she's waiting for whatever this information is. Now, this information could be a bunch of different stuff. This could be, for each Scorpio, it may be different. If this is our own internal higher information about ourselves, our own well-being, or how to better our situation, well, you know, we're waiting on it. But we have to like sort of wait and listen for the call, right? Or listen for the information to come in. And so that's kind of the key here, is maybe the more subtle nuances that are going on around us, taking those in, drinking them in, so to speak, when we have that beautiful bowl. I believe that the Oracle uses that bowl to look into, to sort of divine the future. But to me, it feels like she's healing herself in some way, shape, or form. I also like that, you know, the red shawl kind of feels, red's not a color that I associate with healing as much. But to me, it does sort of associate with love, right? And so I feel like Scorpio could be wrapping themselves in some sort of self-centered, or, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but like self-focused love in the month of December. She's certainly dressed for the holidays with that red. All she needs is like a green boa, and she good. She good. All right. Hi, Nancy Love. How are you? I'm good. Hey, Mary Clunin. Let's go, Scorpio. Exactly. So let's see what's in the cards. This first card is where the Scorpios will be centered at in the month of December. It gives me a little insight into sort of what you guys are, you know, where you're kind of operating from, but it also tells me what you could potentially be creating for the future. Now, again, this is for a broad spectrum reading for a lot of different people, so take what you need and leave the rest. You won't be in this card the entire month. It's just kind of like you'll be going in and out. This will be sort of like your the same card that Cancer had, guys. This is the Strength card. So, and Cancer, what was Cancer's guide card? Theirs was Earth Guardian, which was staying rooted and grounded. I just did Cancer earlier. So Strength is the sign of Leo and the element of fire. It's a major arcana card, so it says that this is definitely a power stance. I am going to pull on that mirror. If you look really closely, there's a dragon on the ground and a mirror, right? And I kind of feel like this mirror is reflective of like the surface of the bowl that she might be scrying into, or this bowl that she's healing ourselves with. Again, I feel like she's gone inward to protect herself. Hence, so has he with this shield, right? To sort of protect himself from whatever's going on in the outside world, staying strong, staying firmly rooted, staying in his sort of power. I will say this. With this being the sign of Leo, I feel like Scorpio is the one water sign that will try and convince you that they are a fire sign. I've always said that my entire sort of career or life or metaphysical study career. It's the vibe with Scorpio is sort of like they're a water sign, but they try really hard to present as like a fire sign. That's just my feeling with the sign of Scorpio. And so this red also kind of gives me that vibe too, where it taps into the Leo and the Leonine energy of the Strength card, right? So there could be some assertiveness, even though we might be reflecting inward and we may be waiting. We may have to hold strong in our weight. We may have to be strong in our convictions or in how we wait, right? We maybe don't want to be pushed to make a decision in any way, shape, or form around a certain something. And I'm just using these as an example of how this strength could arise for the Scorpios this month. I like that Strength is the center, and I like that it's major arcana. So you guys are in a power position no matter what you're dealing with, but you might find that you're having to maybe resist something is kind of the feeling that I'm getting, because this waiting here with the Oracle, like it's almost as if my Scorpios know there's something better out there for them. Sorry, I needed a sip of water. So stay true to what you know to be true, what's internal and within you. That's also her with her eyes closed. I feel like she's putting herself first. And I think that was also some of Cancer's reading, if I remember correctly. There was something to Cancer's reading that was very similar to that. So Cancers and Scorpios might be going through some similar stuff during the month of December. And it makes sense too, because, you know, December is the holidays. We have Christmas and New Year's and all of that sort of stuff. We were dealing with family. We're dealing with the shift in the weather. And being water signs, you know, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, we tend to be emotional. We can get moody. We're also very psychic. So we're tapped into like the other and disconnect. Leo, that's awesome, Mary. All right, so the next card is the Foundation card. So this card tells me a little bit about the past. It sort of is where we were in the past. It sort of opened the door for all the cards to be the way that they are today. The reason why we look at this card is it also gives us insight into what could potentially be pushing us forward through memory. And sometimes the memory of this card will be holding everything in place. Okay, I like it. So this is the Ace of Pentacles. Aces usually represent very new, ideal, sort of optimistic energy. Pentacles would be that of the earth signs. Usually it's ideas around the building of, finances, productivity in sort of the material realm, right? Aces are a new idea. If any of my Scorpios out there have come up with in the last few months some new business scheme, some new opportunity where you want to move to something that's different, that has a different, it will definitely, my feeling is it will definitely have a positive effect to your material realm, right? So if we're talking about our home, our relationships, our jobs, those sort of things, if something new has crossed our mind or we've come across it in the last few months, that it would be sort of ideally surprising or out of the blue, kind of new. That's what an Ace of Pentacles energy sort of represents to me. But it's going to be fruitful. It will be, it will sort of pay off to me. An Ace of Pentacles is also very much an affirmative yes. But when I'm looking at this, I think that we're maybe trying to figure out if now is the right time to pursue this or not. And that is this oracle's waiting for important information. There's something still to come out. I feel like maybe it's in the month of December or towards the end of December about this idea, whatever this is that's brewing, whatever it is that we maybe put into action, put into like this space of wanting or beginning to create, beginning to think about. And like what I'm saying is it could be anything, right? That we started understanding like, it would be nice if, right? And we're talking about like a few months ago. So say, it'd be nice if I had like a new job, or it would be nice if I had a job that did this, or I want to start this new business. I think this would be really fruitful. Whatever that idea was, right? And you should be aware of what this idea is, I think, as I'm talking about this. We need to hold strong to that idea. That's the Strength card in the center. Also, being the sign of Leo, there's a generosity, a kindness, a warmth to the Strength card too, that we also want to sort of stay in and kind of be connected to. I also see that in the self-care that I see in the Oracle card, right? But also there's a patience that needs to take place because of this Oracle card, where she's saying, waiting for important information. So something may not be able to just set off just yet, but that's okay. I don't think that that's a bad thing. The Oracle is saying, be patient. It's all going to unfold the way that it's supposed to. All right, so I mean, as long as we let it and we are patient. So the next card is the Higher Self or Soul card. This card tells me what your higher self or soul is kind of working on, what it's focused on or trying to show you during this month. Weird. Okay, so this was in the same position for Pisces. Funny, weird. Because you guys got the center card for the Cancer reading and then the matching card for the soul space for Pisces. This is the Hangman, which is the energy of Piscean energy. So very watery. Again, though, it's got that waiting thing here. That's what's kind of weird about it too, is because the Hangman is hung to a tree, right? It's not really a bad thing. To me, and part of the reason why I feel like this card is associated with Pisces is because it's about Pisces indecision. The Hangman is always about kind of being stuck in a way, but sometimes we're stuck by our own indecision, right? Or like with the Hangman, he doesn't necessarily know that he can reach up and tie himself out of the tree whenever he's ready. But this being in the spirit space says to me that this is a pause. There is a period here where we need to wait it out, where something more needs to come, some more information. You know, the Hangman needs to realize he can untie himself out of the tree whenever he's ready. If there's somewhere where we're holding ourselves back, or there's something that we don't clearly know, this is telling us to wait, that information is going to be significant, that it's going to be important. The Hangman is not necessarily a bad card. It's just more of a kind of unknown. There's like a little bit of a unknown aspect to it that I feel like the Oracle is calling out, like, just wait, just be patient, let this happen. Again, we're talking about another major arcana card. So this patience and whatever we learn while we're waiting is going to be key and important. What are you sniffing on the floor, bud? It's going to be key and important, right? Because major arcanas have that bigger push, that bigger payoff, that bigger excitement to them. So, and it's funny to me, I'm just going to repeat this one more time. You guys are really keyed into similarities with in big ways with the major arcanas with the Pisces and the Cancers. So I don't know if those people could be playing potential roles in whatever goes on for my Scorpios in the month of December. But for some reason, I think that they might. I mean, does that make sense? Or there's going to be, it's certainly going to have, let's just say this. I feel like it's certainly going to tap into your water sensibilities, your emotions, your psychic senses, all of that sort of stuff. Because when you have the matching, maybe not Cancer as much, but you have the matching cards. So you might be going through some of the same lessons or struggling with the same things that some of your Cancerian friends might be dealing with through that Strength card, because that is actually the sign of Leo. But the Pisces card is the same card from the spirit space. So there's something going on there. It's really weird. All right, so the next two cards are the outside influences. These are cards that tell me a little bit about what's affecting us during the month of December from outside. So they can represent as either positive or negative. We just need to be aware of them. But they can be people, sometimes events, sometimes things more vague, like belief systems or energies that we might be utilizing that we don't even realize don't belong to us. They were taught to us or whatever, but we need to be aware of them. So here's one. Beautiful. This is the Temperance card. Temperance is the sign of Sagittarius. Again, more fire energy, also major arcana. But Temperance is all about kind of keeping balance, staying maintained, keeping our cool, bringing in that sort of temperate energy, really keeping everything sort of in an even keel. Now, when I look at this, it takes me straight over to this Oracle card. This is about Scorpio sort of sitting still. And I feel like with all of these majors plus an ace, you guys, this is a big month for you. But again, it's like this big month where we have to wait. It's sort of strange to me because it feels like Temperance is this lovely energy of learning how to balance everything, keeping everything sort of at an even keel, bringing things back into order. And I feel like that's what this is about, coming from the outside towards us. So this is opportunities for us to remain in this state of temperance, right? Through our strength, we bring about staying in the middle of the road. We don't get caught up in the fray. We don't get caught up in the drama. We don't get, and I'm talking about the fray amongst our friends, family, maybe say at Christmas time, or the news and what's going on in the world. We don't let that stuff get under our skin, is the feeling that I get, because we want to practice this temperance because it's going to like pay off in some really big way. It's here to bring us sort of a sense of peace, and maybe so that we can hear the important information that's going to come to us, so that we can self-heal, so that we can reflect and kind of, I don't know, maybe close down this previous year in a way that's sort of respectful or diplomatic. That's kind of the feeling I get. And I feel like with the Ace of Pentacles as the foundation card, right? Whatever this new idea is, this new life or this new sort of material venture that we have brewing, we kind of want to set the tone to bring that in the months to come. And so that's sort of why these big players are kind of working around us, even though we may not feel like we're making a lot of movement or strides towards it. The strides are in remaining at peace, remaining calm, reflecting, letting go, all of that stuff. And that stuff was also very clearly in Pisces reading too. So let's see what the other outside influence is. And then this is the Ten of Cups. And I feel like this was in Cancer's reading, was it not? I think it was. Ten of Cups is definitely water energy. It's that beautiful, emotive Cups energy. There is opportunity here for coming together with loved ones, family. There's an abundance to the tens. Obviously, there's also a closing up of chapters with the tens. Emotionally, maybe saying goodbye, departing, being done. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It feels like complete, whole, finished, all of that sort of stuff. So again, I feel like this speaks to that emotional well-being and that healing. She's also holding a cup, which I think is very interesting. When I was looking at this cup, it felt like she was sort of healing herself with it. So if there's opportunities to maybe spend time with loved ones, really appreciate them, keeping the energy, again, remember, temperate in that temperance realm, Remaining calm. It really feels like the energies that are coming at you are celebratory, abundant, and very peaceful, right? So December should bring that stuff about. I really hope that's the case for the majority of my Scorpios. If you have heavily placed planets in another sign, that could greatly affect this reading, right? So if you're a Scorpio rising with, say, I don't know, a Gemini moon and a Sagittarius, sun or something, I don't know, you might want to watch the other readings for whatever your planets, your signs fall into, so that you can get like a kind of cross-section idea of what could potentially be happening. To me, this feels like the Scorpios are going to experience opportunities for reflection, healing, emotional sort of closure around certain things, but also being okay with whatever that closure is. That's the 10 of Cups too. I don't feel like it's like we're cutting people off and saying, no, we're done. To me, this is about feeling like complete and whole emotionally, and benefiting from that. And all of this, I gotta say, is being driven by this Ace of Pentacles. So to me, there's a very positive force behind this from our past, some sort of idea, some sort of inkling, some sort of desire that we started to think about or wanted to create, and boom, it's pushing this forward for the Scorpios, even if we don't necessarily feel like we're doing much other than remaining calm and enjoying our loved ones during the month of December. But that vibration, or putting that out there, will allow us to get unhung from that tree at some point when we get the information and the awareness of what it is that we need in the Oracle card, so that we can move forward into 2021, in whatever endeavors that we were thinking about previously. Does that make sense? I hope that kind of makes sense, because so many of you might be working on so many different things. It's really hard to pinpoint it down to one thing, but the one thing that whatever you were focused on in the last few months that sounded really enticing and kind of new and exciting, that you were thinking, I would love to have this or create this or make this happen, that's your Ace of Pentacles foundation. That is the goal that you set for yourself. It isn't gone yet, even if you feel like you haven't done any work towards it, or it hasn't come to fruition yet. I kind of feel like all of this peace and closure and stuff that I'm seeing in this reading is an opportunity for us to begin to shut down the old so that we can open up the new, so that we can pursue those things. That's that hangman energy in the soul space. It's like, just wait it out for a minute and we'll let ourselves loose from whatever it is that's maybe standing in the way or holding us back from going after that, going into 2021. I hope that makes sense. So the next card is the potential outcomes card. And this card is not set in stone by any means. Sorry, I was drawing a blank there. And it is, it tells me where things are naturally heading, barring that nothing major changes. So if this card is a negative card, we can use it as a warning to make choices and changes in our space now so that we can affect the outcome, so that this card does not come to pass. But if this card is positive, we can take heart in the fact that we're naturally heading towards it, and that we don't have to do much to change it. We just kind of keep doing what we've been doing. So let's see what this is. So this is the Eight of Pentacles. And to me, this is not a bad card. This is actually, I don't know. Let me see here. I just want to see what their rendition of the Eight of Pentacles is, because this also showed up as the foundation for Pisces. There's a lot of stuff that the Scorpios and the Pisces might be kind of cross experiencing, is my feeling. But that's okay. We're sort of friendly with each other, so what the hell? There we go. Yeah, so the Eight of Pentacles is about kind of hard work. So I think that by the month's end, Eight of Pentacles is about attention to detail and putting in, sort of dotting our I's and crossing our T's, doing exactly what we know how to do best. And when I look at this, it feels like steps might actually be able to be taken. The information that we're waiting on is probably going to come to most of us in the month of December. Maybe towards the end of December, because it feels like this Eight of Pentacles is us actually being able to start to move forward towards whatever that goal is that we see in that Ace of Pentacles, right? Whatever we see that like was sort of lingering in the background that we were maybe entertaining, we may actually get an opportunity to begin to go after that, because whatever that information is, whatever that sort of inner awareness or, sort of thing that we're waiting on here with this oracle card. When it comes to us, or when we become aware of it, we understand it and we know that we have it, I feel like this hangman gets released and we get to start to move towards creating whatever it is in a very physical way, right? That's the Pentacles energy. Eights are always about like maintaining balance, right? Or bringing in that idea of balance and continuity. So we'll start to make actionable steps towards whatever our goals are materially, right? So I don't think that this feeling of staying in place or holding out will be forever at all. I think it will be over probably by month's end, and we'll actually maybe have a formulated plan of however it is to pursue whatever it is that we desire, or that we're looking at wanting to create, or that we were thinking about wanting to create. The Eight of Pentacles seems to me about, you know, this idea of attention to detail, doing the work, putting our own spin on it, and being able to sort of step forward with it to begin to make it happen as we move into 2021. So I think that it's a very good grounded card to end out the month. It's just interesting to me because you have so much major arcana. Let me just see here. I feel like with this reading too, I feel like there's sort of like these big plans in these cards, and by month's end, the Eight of Pentacles feels like it's not as grand as all of the rest of the cards. I will say that. So let me see here. It feels like to me, if we are patient and we live in the idea of whatever it is that we desire, we stay focused on it and internal about it. We pay attention to how good and abundant it can feel, the idea of having it. We keep our energies balanced and aware, stay in our strength, and remain patient until what we need to know comes to us and it reveals itself to us. By that point, we can then take actionable, palpable, realistic action towards moving towards that. We can begin to build that, something that we may have seen as not a fantasy per se, but maybe it was just sort of a passing idea, a passing fancy, something like, oh, it would be nice if I had this. And we didn't realize that actually it's very possible to have it. And that's where I feel like, so these are really big energies, kind of, I feel like, working around in here. And with the cards that they are, I feel like they have like a large room for creation and abundance and all of that. And so by month's end, we may not be at that level of creation abundance, but we're certainly, the wheels are churning by that point in the Eight of Pentacles. We're starting to do the work. We're starting to see like the path is beginning to clear, and we can start to take movement on that. So just pay attention to the messages that you're getting, to the signs that are coming to you, both within you and around you. That's also this oracle card. She's going to be heightened. Her awareness will be heightened. Her sensitivities will be heightened. Certainly with Pisces energy up in this higher soul space. In that form of that hangman, it's like hanging you there, waiting for you to like notice, right? Like pay attention. There's definitely psychic energy with Pisces being sitting up there. Our spirits, right? The Scorpio spirit wants us to kind of pay attention to those voices, because there's going to be something that comes out in there that starts to begin to open up the door or the path towards achieving whatever it is that you might have wanted and didn't even realize it was possible. That's kind of the feeling that I get here. I hope that makes sense, you guys. That is your forecast for the month of December. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Please, if you did, hit the like button, share the video out with anybody that you feel might be able to use it. I look forward to seeing you guys next month. I will be back on later to do some charmings, and I will see you guys soon for the month of December. The 2021 forecasts for the whole year will come out, and then you can always join me over on Facebook every day for the daily forecast. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, and I will see you later. All right, bye.